canal. Yo me llamo Sirey. Soy una abogada afro-latina licenciada practicando la ley criminal, pero como todos ustedes, a mí me fascina cuando estamos hablando de casos de crímenes reales. En este video vamos a hablar del caso del juez James Gosnell Jr. Si quieren más video en español, nada más dime allá abajo. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Desiree. I'm a licensed and practicing Afro-Latino criminal attorney who, much like the rest of you, has a severe fascination with true crime cases. Listen, this little thing only looks good when I have my nails done. But anyways, listen. Today we're going to talk about a case that's kind of still developing, but it's an interesting case nonetheless. This is a case of a South Carolina magistrate judge who was relatively recently stripped of his position on the bench as he was arrested and federally indicted for possession of child pornographic material. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's expose this bum. This is a case of former Judge James Benjamin Gosnell Jr.
The South Carolina Supreme Court says they have suspended Charleston County Magistrate Judge James B. Gosnell Jr. amid federal charges involving child sexual abuse material.
Good evening. I'm Gabriel Johnson. Today, the South Carolina Supreme Court suspended Magistrate James Gosnell Jr. after his arrest this morning on federal charges related to possession of child sexual abuse material.
Before we talk about exactly what's going on in this current case for Mr. James Benjamin Gosnell Jr., let's talk about some of the prior decisions and some of the things that he's been reprimanded for previously, shall we? In November of 2003, James Gosnell Jr. was talking to a Black defendant whom he had known. Gosnell said that he repeated to the defendant a phrase that he had heard spoken by a Black sheriff's deputy. Quote, "There are 4 kinds of people in this world: Black people, white people, rednecks, and N-words," Gosnell said at the time. He told the Office of Disciplinary Counsel at the state Supreme Court that he made the ill-considered statement to try to get the young man to change his life. But that's not the only time James Benjamin Gosnell Jr. had ill-considered thoughts. Let's get into what else happened. Another charge stemmed from a case in which another judge was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. The law required people to stay in jail overnight, but James Benjamin Gosnell Jr. drove down to the jail to set a bond for that judge. When he arrived, James Benjamin Gosnell Jr. told officials at the detention center to make it appear that that specific judge, Judge Joseph Mendelson's bond was set at 8 a.m., even though Mendelson was set free at 2:30 in the morning. Such bond arrangements had been banned by the state Supreme Court unless the judge sets bail for everyone else who had been detained. The Supreme Court, in October of 2005, said the favoritism in the judge's case combined with the racial slur merited for James Benjamin Gosnell Jr. to receive a public reprimand. He comes across as such a model citizen, like someone we should all aspire to become like. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a man of such prestige and privilege that we should be only so lucky to step foot in the same rooms as Mr. Gosnell Jr. Am I correct? So it comes as such a complete and utter shock that this bum is in a federal prison somewhere for his alleged possession of child pornographic material. In a federal press release dated Tuesday, September 16th of 2025, it states, Charleston County Magistrate charged with possessing child sexual abuse material. Federal agents have arrested James Benjamin Gosnell Jr., age 68, of Charleston, on a criminal complaint charging him with possession of child sexual abuse material. The complaint alleges that agents with the Department of Homeland Security Investigations received a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children about multiple financial transactions with a known distributor of child sexual abuse material from the United Kingdom. The payments came from a peer-to-peer online money transfer account associated with Gosnell's known phone number, address, and email account. The transactions occurred in November of 2024. Thereafter, agents obtained a search warrant for Gosnell's home and electronic devices. During the execution of the search warrant, agents located a flash drive containing numerous videos and images depicting child sexual abuse, including videos and images of prepubescent minors, infants, and toddlers engaged in sexually explicit conduct. Gosnell was arrested this morning and is set to be arraigned Wednesday morning before U.S. Magistrate Judge Molly Cherry. All charges in a criminal complaint are merely accusations, and defendants are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. The press release that we just read made mention to a criminal complaint that they received a tip about someone, specifically James Gosnell Jr., purchasing illicit materials from the United Kingdom. Because I love you so much and I try to be as thorough as humanly possible, let's get into what that complaint says exactly, shall we? Section C, facts and circumstances supporting probable cause. In December 2024, a financial technology company that facilitates peer-to-peer online money transfers filed a National Center for Missing and Exploited Children report, identifying concerns that transactions to a collection of approximately 50 United Kingdom-based accounts associated to one person were for the purchase of CSAM, or CSAM stands for Child Sexual Abuse Material. The center's cyber tip identified more than 100 accounts, which sent money to the suspended CSAM vendors' accounts, which was believed to be for the purchase of CSAM based on financial technology company One's review of transaction comments, messages, and publicly available criminal history information regarding the suspected CSAM purchasers. A review of additional law enforcement records identified an additional portion of the suspected CSAM purchaser accounts had criminal history relating to prior possession of CSAM. Open source reporting that the suspected CSAM vendor was arrested by foreign law enforcement after they were identified as having made and distributed thousands of indecent images of children. The suspected CSAM vendor was identified as funding his lifestyle by selling indecent material of children on the internet using various social media and storage platforms. The suspected CSAM vendor set up a large number of online payment accounts through which he had received thousands of pounds for the indecent material. Now let's get into specifically what they found out about James Gosnell Jr. Law enforcement conducted a review of financial technology company One account held in the name of James Gosnell with account number ending in 9731, which was identified as a suspected CSAM purchaser in the cyber tip. The Gosnell account ending in 9731 was created on November 4th of 2024 and lists a primary street address of, and the address is blocked off, in Charleston, South Carolina, 29407. The email address, which is also blocked off, but it's stated to be an AOL email address, and a phone number, which starts with 1843. The Gosnell account was created from IP address 45.22.6.151 on November 4th of 2024. The suspected CSAM purchaser account was identified as James Gosnell, a Charleston County magistrate. The Gosnell account ending in 9731 was the payer on 2 November 4, 2024 transactions to a single account held by the suspected CSAM vendor for approximately $100. The transactions occurred on November 4th, 2024 between 4:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Both transactions had one transaction note, VID. There were no additional transactions conducted by the Gosnell account ending in 9731. On December 20th, 2024, the Gosnell account ending in 9731 placed a hold on both transactions, reporting that it was unauthorized. November 4th, 2024 falls within the timeline that the suspected CSAM vendor accounts were accepting payments linked to the suspected sale and distribution of child pornography. Law enforcement databases identified IP address 45.22.6.151 as resolving back to the net range of AT&T. A custom summons was served on AT&T. AT&T provided subscriber information indicating IP address 45.22.6.151 was associated with James Gosnell with service and billing addresses matching those that were previously redacted that we just discussed. Now, I read to you what was included in the affidavit in support of the criminal complaint. So charges were eventually filed. Gosnell was eventually arrested. And then what happened from there? They went to a bond hearing by which the federal prosecutors wrote an entire motion explaining to the court why this man should not be released. Let's get into it, shall we? So in their motion for why this man should not be released, they stated, on September 16th of 2025, HSI executed a federal search warrant at James Gosnell's residence. When federal agents arrived on the scene, Gosnell met them at the door and asked whether they knew who he was. When they had explained the scope of the search warrant, Gosnell told federal agents he'd show them what they were looking for and led them to a USB flash drive plugged into his computer. He later told federal agents it would contain hundreds of videos of CSAM, which it did. In addition to the USB flash drive, federal agents seized 13 additional flash drives, an iPhone, and numerous other electronic devices, discs, and VHS tapes, as well as a myriad of records. In a post-Miranda interview, Gosnell confessed to possessing CSAM, attempting to purchase CSAM, and communicating with like-minded individuals on Telegram. Gosnell admitted that he had possessed CSAM and viewed it. He told federal agents that the flash drive he had led them to would contain hundreds of videos of CSAM, and when asked whether it was very young children, such as little babies, he replied that it contained everything. He told federal agents he had attempted to purchase CSAM using PayPal one time unsuccessfully. He admitted to having conversations with CSAM vendors about the purchase of CSAM. He admitted to having conversations with other pedophiles, though he claimed he had not received CSAM files for years and does not know anyone who would possess CSAM. Gosnell also claimed his PayPal account and US bank card were hacked during his attempts to purchase CSAM. He claimed that he had tried and failed to obtain CSAM from an individual, and that individual had hacked his PayPal account. His US bank card information had been stolen, resulting in fraudulent charges in the United Kingdom and the Netherlands, which he reported to his bank as fraudulent. So after the federal prosecutors filed their motion, they all went to a bond hearing by which both sides have an opportunity to argue whether or not they believe the defendant in this case should be released and their rationale for that. Let me tell you what happened there. At the September 24th hearing, prosecutors stated that in one conversation, Gosnell described abusing a 5-month-old in public in his neighborhood and later sent a selfie to himself of a 2-year-old child with the message, quote, "my new buddy." Court documents allege that Gosnell claimed to have sexually assaulted the girl 2 weeks earlier. Conversations revealed that Gosnell described traveling to Puerto Vallarta to have sex with a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and that other international travel was made for the purpose of engaging in sex with children. And for obvious reasons, after hearing the arguments from both sides, James Gosnell's bond was denied. So what happened after that? On October 23rd of 2025, this man entered a not guilty plea as to all the charges pending against him. Well, where do we go from here? As I told you guys at the beginning of this video, this story was still developing. Do I think that James will take this case to trial? Who knows? Who knows? Or is it likely that a plea will happen? I don't know, because I don't even know if a plea is being offered. We're going to keep track of this case because this is just something super, super important that we need to continue discussing. The abuse of authority is crazy. And the positions of respect that these people hold and violate is just unfathomable. It's insane. But that is all for this video. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you like this video and if you would like more videos like it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, y'all take care.